What's going on, everybody? This is the PTSD show, and we just got done doing part one. So this is part two, and the topic for part two is the truth equal uh, to being a pessimist? So yeah.
Speak up.
Oh, I'm like,
Be like,
yeah, I'm like,
I
yeah,
want to show my muscles.
is telling the truth equal to being a pessimist. So like in the world we live in today, I guess I'll just start off by explaining my piece on it. People equate you telling the truth to being negative. Now, it's funny because even though I just came up with this, because I came up with this topic, but I was thinking like, no, the telling the truth is not being negative, but I'm starting to reconsider because I think it's situational. Because when you look at the overall, and especially when you understand, like if you understand the Bible and you understand the devil is the prince of darkness, so this is his world. So he's trying to collect as many souls as he can. So by the end all be all is like because like I always say that the world is like 90 to 95% wicked and 5% good. That's why anybody that tries to um fight for what's right, or fight with righteousness, that's why they always call it fighting a good fight. And the fighting a good fight never ends, because you always gonna be fighting, because you always gotta rebel. I mean, you always gotta fight against evil, and it's way more evil than good. So ultimately, yeah, truth is negative, but the thing about it is it's still situational, because just because the truth is negative, see, it's a thin line. Overall it's negative, but people would think, and this is because that's why we speak in generalities, because generalities matter more. That's how you're able to make observations based off of stuff, because you take the bulk of something. You don't take one thing and that one thing speaks for the bulk.
Right.
But when you take the bulk speaks for what happens on a typical everyday day-to-day basis. So in that aspect, the truth is negative, because doom and gloom is the ultimate goal of the devil in the end. So it is, but I can still say a lot of it is not, because on an individual basis, even though the world is wicked, you don't have to be wicked. So when you make good decisions, and you use logic, and you don't let your emotions take over, and you end up doing stupid things because you weren't thinking. Um, when you see the world around you, because one thing about this earth, we all coexist on this earth. So even though the like I said, the ultimate goal of the devil is to collect as many souls as he can, is wickedness all around us. So, but when you make good decisions, you can you can live amongst the wickedness, meaning by us, because we all don't live on different planets, we all live on the same planet. So it's wickedness all around you. But if you do good and you make good decisions based off of yourself, you can thrive amongst the wickedness. So that's on an individual level. So prime example, just like stuff like, because like I said, then you got stuff you can't control, and you got stuff you can't control. For stuff that you can't control, that goes, if it's in God's will, even if it hurts you at that moment, if it's supposed to happen, it's supposed to happen. So that's stuff that you don't have any control over. I'm not talking about that. Stuff that you got control over, you can make, okay, like, just something on a simple level, just so people can relate, like paying your bills. You can either not pay your bills and go to the club and just do, if you basically prioritize stuff that's valueless, like dumb stuff, over what's important, what's the ramifications of that? You can end up homeless. You can go hungry. You don't have any food. If you don't pay your car note, your car can get repo, whatever. And that's based off of you prioritizing stuff that doesn't matter over things that do matter. So somebody that prioritizes stuff that matter, they won't end up in certain situations because they handle business over somebody who doesn't handle business. So that's an example. If by you making good decisions, you're not finna go through a lot of crap that people that don't handle business go through. So that's you as an individual. So now you're looking all around you, people getting repoed out of their house, or people doing this, or now we'll just flip it to gang bangers. Like, if you don't, now it's sad because you got people that don't be in gangs that still die. But we do know, typically, if you're in the gang life, you either gonna end up dead or in jail. Mm-hmm. So if you're not in the gang, your life is way more peaceful. You can go to the corner store and buy a bag of chips without looking over your shoulder, because you ain't got the ops after you. You can go to Walmart, you can go to Jewels, you can go to GameStop, and you don't have to worry about, oh, I don't know if I want to go to GameStop because it's going to be 10 niggas waiting on me in a car. You ain't got to worry about that. So even though that's amongst your area, like you live in that, but even though you live around that, you're not partaking in that. So even though you're around the danger, you can still live your life in a certain solace because you don't partake in the danger. So in that aspect, that truth I just told of you making good decisions to avoid a lot of BS because you did something smart as opposed to something stupid, me telling that truth, that's not negative. If you stay out of the game, you're not going to have ops looking for you. Now, of course, do you have those unfortunate events where you coming home and somebody get hit by a straight bullet? Those are just casualties, and it's sad that that happens, but those things do happen. So outside of that, which is something you can't control, the truth is, well, if I don't be in gangs, I don't have to worry about people coming after me and shooting up my crib because I didn't beat up this gang member. Now, by you not being in gang life, your life could be a lot more easy because you're not involved in that gang life. What I just said right there was the truth. That's the truth. So that's not negative. That's just, well, if I don't do this bad stuff, I don't have to worry about bad results in that aspect. So that's the truth. That's not being negative. That's just telling the truth. Now, when people say, when you tell the truth in certain instances, you being negative, they looking at it as, now we're going to look at it as a broad scope of things. AI. AI slowly taking over humans, and it's going to be a world full of robots. People will look at that as a positive thing, but people that knows like what the elite is up to, that's not a positive thing. So you're like, man, this AI is really, they trying to have robots replace humans, and slowly in the future, everything is going to be on some iRobot stuff in real time. So that's not a good thing. So when you tell that truth, people will, oh, you just being negative. No, that's the end result of having more robots replace humans, that is a negative thing. So in that instance, that is the truth, and that's a negative truth. Like it's the truth, but it hurts, and it's nothing positive about it. So when you look at it in aspects about like how the world is affected based off the judgment of others, now the world is affected by what top people up here do, and it trickle down to hit everybody else. Telling the truth about the elites, that's not being negative. It's just that the truth happens to be negative, because you could be negative without telling the truth. You got a lot of stuff that's negativity, that's not truthful. It's just negative, because remember, negativity sells and the truth is shunned. So, but a lot of facts, when you tell the truth about the state of the world, the outcome is not the end result, or the end end result of about the state of the world. Like with the whole gay agenda, like I said, the robots taking over, certain people being up here having one man having $50 trillion, and you got all these people homeless and starving. So it's like stuff like that. Those are all truths that's negative. Like, because everything I just said is a fact. Because you got people up here, they trying to make it the have versus the have-nots. They try to make a world full of robots in the future. They trying to make everybody gay so you can't procreate anymore. All of those are truths. So even though those are the truth, that is pessimist, but it's not saying that. Because see, pessimist mean like, well, when you look up the definition, well, you don't believe in no hope. You just believe everything's gonna be bad. Me telling the truth is not that. That's the thing. People think when you tell the truth that you want the outcome to be negative. You don't want it to be negative. You just calling what's gonna happen. But people that don't comprehend, they think by you telling the truth about the inevitable that you support the inevitable, and that's bullcrap. Because we tell the truth all the time. That don't mean we like it, but we just tell you, look, I'd rather. See, that's the thing. When you see the truth for what it is, you can judge your life and live your life accordingly based off of what you know. Because if you in La La Land, that means what? You refusing to live in reality. So now you're opening the door for more things to happen to you, because instead of accepting what's in front of you, you act like what's in front of you is not real. So for people that do that, they're going to end up, so for the people that are like, oh, just be hopeful. Them are the ones you need to stay away from, because they're basically telling you to your face, F reality. Even though it's right in your face, we just gonna say, nah, that ain't true. Even though all the evidence shows that it's true, but then people is telling you, no, even though it's all in your face, don't believe that. So when you run into people like that, which is sadly the majority of people, that's why you got to stay to yourself. Because somebody that accept the truth for what it is, you can accept the truth and it's negative, but your life will be positive, because now that you see the negative from the beginning, you know how to live accordingly. But if you live in La La Land from the beginning, that means what? You're never going to face reality for what it is, because even though the truth is in your face, you're going to keep telling yourself it's not that. And when you keep telling yourself it's not that, that's why you keep getting the results you get, because instead of living in reality, you're living in La La Land intentionally. So, yeah, and like I said, as far as like the state of the world and like how things are going, telling the truth is not that the truth is negative. It's just the events that's happening that you're calling out just happen to be negative. But the truth itself is not negative. But people confuse you telling what's gonna happen, which is the inevitable. They call that, oh, you just agree with negative stuff. It's just like, no, remember, because the way the world is going, the corrupt people that's running it, they are the ones perpetuating this. We just calling out what we see that they're doing. I'm not trying to do this. I'm not trying to make the world the have versus the have-nots. I'm not trying to make everybody gay so no more babies can be born. We're not doing that. We just calling what we see. So instead of saying that we negative for telling the truth, how come you won't attack the people that's actually doing the negative things? And they always say that. When people report the news, instead of attacking a person that commit the crime, they want to attack the messenger for telling the news. That's just crazy. And like I said with black women, they would tell, just getting back on this type of stuff, black women would get mad at guys like us for telling the truth instead of literally making it better by leaving the Pookies and Ray Rays alone. Because they can't do what you don't allow. If you don't allow them to do that, if you don't give them the power to do what they're doing, they can only go so far. The reason they go far is because y'all partake in their crap. So when you partake in their crap, now you just making it, you perpetuating it. You widespreading it more because y'all actually playing a part into that. But if you don't play the part, they can only go so far. So why is you mad at us for calling out what women do, or just calling out the state of the world, or we calling out the things that the world do instead of going for the actual perpetrator? This is the world where the perpetrator, people don't actually go for the perpetrator. They go for the person who's telling you about the perpetrator. So, yeah, that's my stance on that. So I'm gonna let Sean or Dre or Pico say what they got to say about it.
Go ahead, Sean.
Okay. All right, I'm sorry, y'all. Okay. So,
man, Sean.
Hey man, what can I say? Just had to do some laughing. Yeah. So is telling the truth being a pessimist? No, and the reason I say that is because telling the truth, you're not a pessimist. You don't prey on the downfall and the negativity of anything. In my words, you just aware of the foolishness.
Thank you.
You just aware of the dilly-dally. You just aware of the stupid stuff in life. You just aware of something that you know is not going to work because that's insanity. You trying something over and over and over again to get a different result. At that point, it's like it's not going to work. So I don't think telling the truth is being pessimist. You just
calling out what you see.
Calling out what you see. You just aware of the foolishness. You just aware of the wickedness in the world. You just aware of that stuff, man. You just aware of the fakes, which is majority of people these days. You're just aware of the fake people, the snakes and everything. You just aware of just life, and it's your life. Now, I will say if you telling the truth, and it's how can I put this?
Like being overly negative.
If you being overly negative and you just angry and bitter and everything, and you like, man, nothing never work out for me. And it's just like, well, you are what you attract. You bitter inside, and everything. But if you know you can still live life and everything, you're not bitter or you're not a pessimist. You're not a pessimist. You just some stuff you can't have. You can't have everything.
Nope.
It's just like me. I want $500 million. Am I going to be optimistic and hopeful that that's going to happen one day? No. Unless a miracle happen, but no, I can't. So it's just you're just aware of all the stupid stuff, man. That's what I think.
I agree with you.
Just like with negative, like with
Sean, say the topic out loud again because somebody just asked.
The topic is telling the truth is being a pessimist. That's what the topic is. So basically, it's telling the truth.
That's Jonathan.
Oh, okay. Hey, what's up, Jonathan? It's telling the truth. Just basically, are you a negative person if you tell the truth and see the truth? And I just say no, you're not, because you aware. That's what I think. Because if you living in just la la land, like what Tony said, to me, I think you're avoiding the reality, and I think you're avoiding the truth, and I think you know the truth. I think you know the truth is like it's a hard pill to swallow. You just don't want to deal with it. That's why I think you're escaping it.
Yeah.
That's why the term blue pill and red pill come in. Like, I think you're just escaping the reality. Like, that's what I think with being the truth. Yeah, you just telling the truth and everything. The truth, and this is why I came up with this. The truth will set you free. You know, your parents used to tell you that the truth will set you free. The truth will set you free. Well, sometimes it won't. It won't set you free, but it will open your eyes. It will make you learn. And sometimes the truth, you won't have a choice but to accept the truth in certain instances. So,
yep, in some cases, the truth gets you killed.
the truth gets you killed.
True,
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's just like,
That's crazy.
it's not negative or anything. A lot of people, you know, and I've had experience with people. Oh, you're so negative. You're so negative. You dark and everything. It's like, well, that's the world we live in. The world we live in is dark. It's not nice. This world will chew you up and spit you out, man. And you either accept that or you just keep getting chewed and spit out.
I knew you were gonna say something crazy.
Jonathan said he want the pink pill.
Pink pill.
Get on my nerves.
Delusional.
Right.
Delusional pill.
Go ahead, Dre.
So that's my opinion.
No, I agree with y'all, honestly. I feel like a lot of people have an issue with the truth is because they so used to being lied to most of their life.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, there's nothing wrong with being hopeful. We're not saying that you shouldn't be hopeful, but I believe a lot of people, when they look at hope, they don't put action behind it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when you be overly hopeful, a lot of people that are overly hopeful, they don't put action behind the hope that they're trying to, achieve. You know what I'm saying? So what's hope without action? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You can't sit there and say, I'm hoping for this, but then you have no action to put in towards what you're trying to get. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't make any sense. And that's why a lot of people, like when we talk about the Bible, a lot of people steer away from the Bible because the Bible has a lot of truth in it.
Facts,
And
bro.
they sit there and say when you're religious, they sit there and say, well, God wants you to live a boring life. And that's not the case.
No.
When you live in a world of wickedness, and wickedness is praised all the time,
Yep.
of course, the things that in the Bible is saying is going to seem or come off as boring or as of a boring life.
Mm-hmm.
But if the world was going in a place of righteousness like the Bible was trying to express, then some of the things that we are dealing with wouldn't be happening. You know what I'm saying? The reason why we deal with some of the stuff that we deal with is because we don't follow with what the way the word was supposed to be. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
So when you look at stuff like this and you have an issue with the truth, it just goes to show that you have an issue with yourself for one, and you're not trying to accept the fact of what the world really is. You know what I'm saying? And what the world is moving to. Like a few podcasts ago, we talked about actually this was a while ago. We talked about like the whole gender identity thing, and a lot of people had an issue with people having an issue with the whole gender identity thing. And I brought up a good, interesting point about if they're going so far as to doing this, then who knows how much further it's going to go. And some people said, well, it's not going to go that far because, well, we're just, right.
Exactly.
Because it's just people want to change their gender. But recently I just seen the video, and I think I told y'all yesterday, where it was a grown man. He was about in his 50s or 60s, right? And he said he identified as a 7-year-old girl.
Wow.
Not even just that. It was also another one that I seen that I think he said he identified as a disabled something disabled. He was a disabled young child or something like that. Like, it's gotten to that point. And when I sat there and said, you're going to have people that's going to identify as a whatever age they choose to identify as, and then try to move around and sleep with little children and stuff like that, it's going to go to that point. So it's like when you try to say certain things, because some people say what we said about that topic is negative.
Right.
But I'm saying, although you may look at it as negative, but we're telling you what's going to happen, because I'm telling you, if we go down this path, I'm predicting what's going to happen next. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, when we talk about certain topics, y'all got to stop looking at it as if it's a bad, we're hoping for the worst. What was that noise?
Yeah, I keep hearing
That was the dog.
Oh. That people are trying to hope for the worst, and it's nothing like that. We understand that this is the way the world is moving, and if we don't have these type of conversations, we're just saying that it's okay for this stuff to happen. And you don't understand, like, if this stuff continues to happen, it's going to affect everybody else's daily life. You know what I'm saying? And then it pushes the future to an even worse situation than what it is now. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy that in this time that we live in, we have so much peace, but we have some of the weirdest issues in the world.
Yep.
Back then, they never had an issue with. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
We make issues out of the most stupidest stuff.
Yep.
It doesn't make any sense. People back then, what fighting to survive was trying to live through racism and the civil rights and all that stuff like that, and wars and stuff like that, and we over here crying about what somebody said on YouTube,
on Twitter, or something.
on Twitter,
You
or
ain't lying,
a comment
bro.
somebody made, being sensitive. Like that's ridiculous. When y'all trying to cancel, like the whole cancel culture stuff that's going on, like that's ridiculous at this point. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like it's bigger things out there to be worried about than to be sitting here talking about things, people's opinion on certain stuff. You get what I'm saying? But yeah, being afraid of the truth is just, to me, just feels like y'all, just to me, just shows like y'all don't have emotional maturity. To be honest with you, like you just overly sensitive about the truth when the truth is supposed to help you move past whatever situation you're in. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, if you can't accept the truth, guess what? You just gonna live in it every goddamn day. It's just what it is. You can't change what the reality is. All you can really do is try to prevent a situation from happening or making your situation better. And that's the good thing about us being human beings and being, you know, the top of the food chain in this current world. Like, we're able to change we could change the trajectory. I can't even say the word.
Trajectory.
Yeah.
You said it again wrong.
I can't even say. We could change the way we live our life and the choices that we make. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if we're able to do that, you can change the way your life is. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it doesn't make no damn sense for you to sit and complain about the truth hurting you and stuff like that when you can change it at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? Certain animals can't even change their damn situation. They're preyed upon all the time.
Because God designed them for that.
God designed them
so
to
they
be
can't make a change. Like, I don't want to be prayed no more. No.
Yeah.
So the fact that we can change it and they can't, so we blessed actually.
Exactly. So it's just like, I mean, you just got to look at it from that angle. Stop looking at like the truth being something bad. And the truth is good because it's like, it helps other people move past whatever life situation they're going on. If we sit here and lie to everybody all the damn time, it's only going to make that situation like worse. Like when we talk about the stuff we talk about with women and stuff like that, we're not saying this to be negative or bashing women or anything like that. We're saying this because this is the things that we're seeing that y'all doing wrong that can help your situation. But if we continue to just sit and like, oh, keep messing with them type of dudes or keep doing this and keep doing that, you're just going to keep making the same mistake over and over again.
Look, because we can remove the names, but I sure bring up that situation. All right? Because I'm like, I'll go there. Because I could just do it without saying who, but all right.
But yeah, I mean, like, damn, let me forget my point. But not you good. But yeah, I mean, just honestly, like the stuff we were saying about the women and stuff like that, like y'all just
you been a pessimist right now, man. Cause you got on the just doing, you can't play liquor basketball. I'm just playing. Let's just play. A little humor for you.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, go ahead, Sean.
It's funny because I want to bring up what you said about like a 50-year-old man wanting to be a 7-year-old girl or something.
That's crazy.
Yeah. And it's crazy too because in a lot of these instances, you with the whole society, like be yourself and everything. A lot of these instances, they play themselves because a 50-year-old man's like, I'm a 7-year-old girl, and he go hook up or try to sleep with a girl that's a 7-year-old girl. In real life, they like, oh no, that's wrong. But that's your logic that you just used. He's being himself.
Right.
That's how. If that's how you feel inside, that's how you feel inside. So now it's a problem because it's something that you don't agree with. But it's just like, but by your own logic, you contradicted yourself because the society. What they're saying is like be yourself, be your
if
true
a man
you.
can feel like a woman, a pedophile can feel like he's a kid in order to mess with kids.
Exactly.
Y'all giving them a license to be a pedophile,
Right?
Because all they gotta do is say they feel like that,
Right? Yeah. And then they like, oh no, that's not okay. But it's like that's your logic. That's your logic that he's
you open that door
applying to you.
Basically.
But it's okay, but it's not okay for that one. So the pessimist and everything, it's like that's I don't know. It's not negative. It's not negative. It's just, like I said, you're just seeing all of the stuff that's foolish, man. You're just weeding your way through the stupid stuff, man. If you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. And if you fall for anything, that's negative to me.
True.
If you fall for anything and everything, you got dudes out here spending thousands of dollars on a girl that don't even like him. He know the girl don't like him, but yeah, he's still spending a rack. That's negative. Because what is that benefiting? That's benefiting her. What is that benefiting from you? Mm-hmm. What, you seeing her every day? There's nothing else that's not going to evolve. That's true. Or vice versa. A girl keep being with a man that keep beating her. What is that benefiting? Nothing. Mm-hmm. That's negative, but you decided to stay with him. Oh, I love him. That's negative, bro. That's negative if you ask me. That's lame, to be honest with you. Mm-hmm. A lot of y'all could change the situations y'all in, but because y'all are afraid of the truth and y'all are afraid to move on and embrace what your life can be, y'all gonna be stuck in the same situation. It's like what Thanos said in Endgame. Bro, Thanos quotes. The Thanos, he was like, everything.
He can't remember.
No, I can't
go
remember.
ahead.
He said it's funny too because it's like what he said in the Endgame. He's like, because there will always be those. It will never be what can be because there will always be those that remember what was.
True.
So there'll never be what it'll always be those that will remember what was. It'll never be what can be because it's always gonna be people like, oh, it's fake reality and stuff and all. It's always gonna be people that accept the sweet lie, than to just embrace the bitter truth. And just like what you said, Jonathan, truth is pain. Truth is painful.
Oh yeah.
We all been through it. Truth is not. It's not sweet, man. It sucks.
Yeah.
It sucks. Truth, but God shows you. This is why I showed you that. So you could either evolve from that. Now, he gave you the choice. He gave you free will. Now, you could either change your situation because I gave you this truth, or you could sit exactly where you at.
Give me dap on that one, man. I got a good dap on that one. That's what I'm talking about, Sean.
That's why he gave you. He gave you that choice. You can either change or you could just complain and stay the same.
Mm-hmm. Then I want to comment on something because I think you read that when John. Is he still watching Jonathan?
Yeah, he's probably still on crazy.
You was
man.
like, what if
Carmela said, "Amen, brother." So
yeah,
there you go.
When Jonathan said, "What if it's all a lie? What is truth? What if this is all a lie?" So when he said that, I was thinking, I'm like, how can I answer that? But I can't. I think I got a good answer. When he said, "What if this is all a lie?" So how do we know what truth really is? Well, the thing is, if we all here, we here for a reason. So even if we unclear on that reason, we here for a reason. So, and it's funny because I had this talk with one of my friends too about because like they always say, oh, well, knowledge is in it's in the books and stuff like that, and for thousands of years it's been in this book for this many years, like outside of the Bible. I'm talking about like just regular books that man wrote, not talking about the Bible. And like what scientists and just different people say. And I said this to my homie. He was like, yeah, well, I'll break this in this book. That's so and so and so. And I said that's a thin line because I'm like I said earlier, the originator of the story can make it whatever he wanted to be. That's why when you break down history, it's his story.
His story, right?
You see what I'm saying? So it's like the story got to come from somewhere or something or somebody.
Right.
So for Jonathan to say or ask, how do we know what we live in is truth and like what is truth? Well, the fact is. And I answered like the white man. Like we ain't talking about God, we talking about the white man. Because the white man place laws, they make up words, and since they in power, they call the shots, and everybody else just gotta follow suit. Because the Bible said you in Rome, do what the Romans do. You in a strange land, follow the lands of that whoever ruled in that land. So the white man said a lot of things that's dumb, that don't make sense. But since they have the power to back up their BS, that's law.
Right.
So even if we didn't follow their law, and we was in charge and we never disobeyed God, then it will be our law. That it's God's laws, but I'm talking about he give us the power to enforce the laws on other nations. So, which is how it was initially until we messed up and now the white man is up here. But nonetheless, somebody has to enforce something. So even when people try to say the whole God, well, man, what if the whole God thing, what if we don't know, what if that's a lie too? You can't say that because it's like, even if you wanted to play that game and you live by your own thought and not by God's thought, if your thought became popular and everybody followed suit, you'll be the catalyst because you started that independent thought, and now we got everybody believing a philosophy that you came up with. So you can't even say, well, what if that's a lie? Because guess what? Even if this person lied, this person lied, this person lied, it lets you know somebody comes up with something. And if everybody gravitates toward that, that's the new thing. So that's how it is with God. So we bring it up with God because God is more powerful than all of us. If he say this and people don't believe in God, if he say this and this is the way it's been in stone and we just been going through that, even if they said that's a lie and we don't know, and this is something going to your credit, Pico, what you said, I'd rather believe in God and find out that that's not true than not believe in God and find out that there is one. Because you know how scary that'd be to be like, I don't believe in that skycracker, you like, so that's what I'm saying. So I'd rather believe, and then we get to the end, I'll be like, there ain't nothing here. Okay, well, at least
you ain't gonna lose.
right? Because at least you be like, okay, and then that's what's so crazy because even if you believed in something and it's nothing at the end, you was able to live your life with a moral code.
That's true.
Because you had something to believe in, which inspired you to live a certain righteous way. So I'd rather believe in something, believe righteously in something, and they'd be like, oh, dang, it ain't nothing here. Okay, well, at least I had a good moral code all the way up. Then to go crazy and say F everything, and God be like, yeah, I am. And you like, come on, bro. Think about it.
Yeah, that's true.
So, like Johnny said, even if it is all of that, I'd rather live this and get duped in the end than not give an F at all and it's something real at the end.
Yeah,
And I just leave it at
that's
that.
true.
I agree with you on that one.
I do too.
So,
That make a lot of sense, Tone.
yeah.
But yeah, that makes so much sense, man. Hey, that's
I just have to
man,
think
see what
about
I do. I'm still thinking about him, man. Yeah.
Me too.
That makes so much sense, man. I always said that.
Yeah.
There's no harm in believing, or at least try to do right.
Yeah, try. Yeah.
You know, but just like the title of it is, being a pessimist.
Yeah.
Being right, people that do right is pretty much called a pessimist anyway. Or you're one-sided, or you don't. That's not the way it's supposed to be. And it's supposed to be this. It's supposed to be that. Why don't you just try to do what's right?
Exactly.
It'll come out in the end if I'm a pacifist or not.
Right. Exactly.
But I prefer, it's like I always say, like you just said, to believe in him, and at the end, nothing happens. Like, oh well, I believed in him, nothing happened. Then say, oh, God don't exist. I gotta keep up with the Joneses. You know, they don't like God, I don't like God. And like Tone say, walking down the street one day, sky crack. Oh crap! I should have believed in him. It's too late. It's too late. So
That's got to be a scary feeling.
If people always try to do right, they're always going to be criticized for something they're doing right, no matter what it is. If you go against the laws of the land, you're wrong.
Yeah.
You can't go against the LGBT community.
Wow.
You got people that's in church with the LGBT community.
Yeah.
But if you are a true believer of God and you are God fearing, if you worshiping God, you have to be on the same level he's on.
Yeah.
Because he don't take sides. I keep telling people that he don't take sides. I mean, it was a long time ago, but let's not forget what happened in Sodom and Gomorrah, man. He burnt that down to the ground, and every city around it, he took all that down. Now, guess what? Now they finding stuff. This is 2023. Documentaries, they say, hey, whatever fell from heaven, it burnt everything. Because they say there's no fire in the world this strong. So what killed this thing and made everything ash? So now, guess what? Now people scratching their head like monkeys, like, man, is this stuff real?
Yeah.
Think about it. So anytime you do something right, people are going to hate you for it. And just like you said, Dre, when we talking, when I do the solo thing, it's not to bash women. No, I'm trying to help women. Oh, what do you know about a woman? Hey, you're a woman. I mean, you're a guy. I date them.
Right.
You know, I sit out in the street. There's always a better way. But you never see nobody taking credit for, brothers don't take credit for that stuff like that. I can go out and tell a whole bunch of women, hey, you can't do this, you can't do that. No, don't do this. But if women tell them, for some strange reason, it just hits better because they're emotional creatures.
Or they hate that woman.
I was just going to say, stay on my head, man. That's why I put the hat on so you can get my head. Right. But, I mean, let's just be honest, man. Everything is so sugarcoated in the world now.
Yeah.
But people look at things, let's take the Bible, for instance. And this is not getting off topic. This is still the topic of being a pessimist. The Bible is truth. Everybody know that. Has the Bible been tampered with? Everybody know it has. Everybody knows that. But there's still truth in the Bible. So people can't go around and say, well, the Bible was made to, like the girl said on TikTok, the Bible was made just to keep women in control. I mean, just to control women.
Right.
God didn't go through all of that stuff he sent them people through and put prophets on this earth just to say women stay in control. That's way bigger things than that.
You ain't
man.
lying.
You know?
Way bigger than
You
that.
got demons running this world, man. So why would he want that? If there was no God, I'm just saying, and I wrote a Bible, why would I want to put that in? Okay, I'm gonna make this so the women can stay in place. And I know that there's evil spirits running around somewhere. I ain't got time to babysit you.
And come to think of it, it's funny that you said that. Like it was the Bible is an order. Like the God.
I say that all the time, Camilla. I said that all. No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
No, Camilla said, what's funny, as soon as people get sick, the first thing they call on is,
that
oh,
is
God
so
help
true.
me. How many
That's
times
so
I
true.
said that?
Yep, that's true.
Yep.
You don't have any credentials.
true.
He'll just look and laugh at you like, oh, now you want me to help you. You didn't cuss me out.
Wow.
You done did all this stuff. You didn't even believe in me.
Now you want me to say.
You know what? You didn't believe me. I took all the 10 commandments away. I'm just saying, I took all the 10 commandments away, and I said, Sean, just keep this one. You ain't even want to do that. Now what I'm going to help you for? Oh, God, help me. We say it all the time.
You sure do.
God, please let me do this. God don't give a crap about a car. He don't care if you get a big house or a small house. As long as you do what he asks you to do. Keep his commandments. Live right. He'll put you through it. He might not give you a mansion.
Yeah.
But then again, he might do it. All depends on how your heart is with
Your
him.
heart is, yeah.
No, David and them cats had a lot of money now. King David, Solomon, until Solomon screwed up, of course.
Exactly, yeah.
But we don't know, because we don't know the intents of his heart.
Right.
We looking at stuff with it, as my father used to say, with a lustful eye.
Yeah, exactly.
And I ain't talking about women. I'm talking, you can lust over
You
anything.
can desire anything, yep.
Lust over anything. Oh, God. Now everybody want to jump and turn to God. Oh, God, please, let me get this job.
I be
so I can
hating
do
that,
this.
bro.
God, please. And no. And sometimes God will give you what you want just to make sure you're going to screw it up. What they call it, a reprobate mind? A reprobate, do he give you what you want? Because you're going to screw it up anyway. Carnal minded. There you go.
Yeah.
They'll tell you, okay, you know what? I know you're going to screw up, but here, you say if I give you this, you're going to change your whole life around here.
Well, I'm going to show you lying.
6 months later, you back at the club. But everything he stands for, people call it being a pessimist. Oh, no, you can't do this. Give it to the world. The world, if it was up to the world, everybody be going to hell.
You ain't lying.
You got this
That's
crew
so
over
true.
here. You got this crew over here. You got the presidents over here. You got the vice presidents. You got the LGBT. You got the me movement. And all of these people, God ain't in none of it. So what's the excuse? What's the excuse? There's no excuse. There's no excuse for what humans do to each other. Instead of somebody saying, hey, brother, you got to get together. You know, God is coming one day. At least try. And I walk down the street and I hear Tony talking to a guy and I say, oh, man, you ain't got to do that, man. Tony know what he's talking about. Tony's one-track minded. There's more than one God. You can serve Alibaba. He'll understand. But the true God, he's too harsh, just like Steve Harvey just said. And I don't know if y'all heard this.
No. I've heard people say that. I ain't hear him say that, though.
Steve Harvey was on, I saw a little bit of it. In other words, he was talking about the commandments. He said, the commandments, why, he's supposed to be a Christian. Why do I have to keep the commandments? I can't even keep one. At least he's telling on himself. But these are the people that, I hate to say this, that women follow. How can you tell a woman what to do? You're not even doing what the Creator asked you to do.
Exactly.
They run and get his books. Oh, Steve Harvey said, do this and wait 30 days and men are from Cybertron, whatever, Pluto and whatever, Memphis. No, man. No, we all come from the same thing. All of us come, every last one of us come from a man. I know society try to say we all come from women. No, women can't do anything without a man. So we all come from men. When it's time, then you come from a woman. She gives birth. But the pessimist thing is real, and that's why I'm glad you brought that subject up, because one-on-one talk, I did think about people believe a lie before they believe the truth. And it's just funny, he just said last week, we're going to talk about this. I'm like, man, that's like back to back. People will believe a lie before they believe the truth, man. And it's everywhere. It's not just here on this block, Tony block, his job. It's all over the world. Remember, the thing was always to get God out the picture. Once you get him out the picture, people fall for anything.
Yeah.
You can't say this. You can't say that. Sean, you hurt my feelings. But I got to tell you the truth. I have to tell you the truth. I have to tell Tony the truth. Tony got to tell me the truth. Yeah. Tony, Percat, don't sugarcoat nothing.
No, he don't.
He never did.
Never did, no.
If I'm messing up out there, it's his job to say, bro, you know, he can't be like, now, Pico.
No, he gonna get
What did Grandpa, what your daddy teach you, young man? No, he gonna come out like, nigga, you wrong. And that's the love that I need.
And it's gonna be like, and I'm telling you that because I love you.
Yeah, he ain't gonna be like, oh, okay, man, well, just this once. No, you know, you're bogus, man. That's what we need, because everybody think everything is gonna be easy. Life isn't easy. Life ain't easy at all. Just like the girl came on my show Saturday. I told y'all about it. She came in guns blazing. Y'all, you do this a lot. I said, I'm not bashing anybody. I'm just telling women it's not a good look to be masculine. But you can't tell a woman what to do. I don't have to tell you what to. I can't run your life, but I know by me being a man,
Right.
You're not supposed to be a man. You're not supposed to have the ways I have.
Right, real talk.
Because I can't have the ways you have.
Right.
But see, the world, once again, pessimists, they want to sugarcoat that. You can't tell her what to do. She's all woman. I can care less what she is. Because at the end, it's gonna be what God say anyway.
So yeah.
No, I didn't put you here to be that. Oh, but God, he got me pregnant and he left me, so I had to turn masculine. I still didn't put you here to be that. So what you gonna do? You know what? You go in row H, because you know what that is. So go on over there. And I'm telling you now, ain't no water fountains down there, so just be ready. But people believe a lie before they believe the truth. Long story short, being truthful isn't being a pessimist, man. It's not. You have to tell the truth.
Yeah, that's real, because if I tell you that the sun is yellow, that's a fact.
It's a fact.
That's not negative.
It's not negative, man.
So
it's not. All of us got to get paid for our sins, man. Rich, poor, black, white, Asian, all of us. So I'd rather stand for something or die for nothing. So there you go. Just like you said, Sean, just like Dre said, just like Tony said. The world is nothing but a big pink penny meltdown now. That's all it is. You can't do nothing no more. Some people, I told y'all about the brother they had in Milwaukee. I think it was Mall of America. They told me to leave because he had a Jesus Save shirt on.
Really?
You gotta take that off, bro.
Wow.
If you don't take it off, you gotta leave them all. Because guess what? Somebody reported that it was offensive. Heck, in God's green earth, can Jesus be offensive to anyone?
You ain't lying.
Wow.
Jesus is offensive. God is offensive. The angels are offensive. Adam and Eve is offensive. Eve should have been Adam. Adam should have been. Everything is offensive now. Why God had to make man first? No, scratch that out. God didn't make man first. God made woman first. Really? Because you know why? People want credit for stuff they ain't got nothing to do with.
Right.
You know, it's funny that he said that, because the girl that said on TikTok.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, brother.
The girl that said on TikTok, women, God made the Bible for women to be, controlled and everything.
To control women.
To control women. Yeah. It's like, that goes to tell you, to me, he made that because why would he make that if it wasn't no problem for him to make that? It was out of control. It had to be out of control.
And he knew what they was gonna be on.
Yeah, so that's probably why he's like, I'm not saying only that. It was bigger stuff.
Yeah.
But he was like, let me add that in there because if I don't, it's gonna be all hell. Like he
already knew it was gonna be, man.
So it's like, that's further proof that is like, back then it was crazy. They was crazy. So that's probably why he was like, okay, let me do this. Make that.
He already knew it was gonna
They did all that back then without technology. Come on, it's on steroids now.
Yeah. And it's not just like Carmela say. It's not all women. It's not all men.
Yeah.
But the most always overdo the good.
Yeah, man.
But you know what? Because that's why. Because when you really look at the world now, the world is moving off feeling, right? And when you realize women are based off emotions, why would the women lead this world to what, in the way that they're trying to say it, if women operate off feelings? And the world wouldn't progress that in the way that it's supposed to be, with just feelings. Like look how the world is now.
Yeah.
You got all this other stuff going on because people feel a certain type of way. So if this certain group feels this type of way, so we're gonna change this to appease to that certain group. That doesn't make sense.
And you're right, because if it's based off of feelings, if you appease this person that feels this way,
you now say somebody else.
And if that person feeling may not agree with that person feeling. So you appease this person, but by doing that, you simultaneously piss this person off. So then when you appease this person, now you piss her off.
Yeah.
It never stops.
It never stops.
When you put all this in a circle, it's only demasculate. Well, it's breaking down the masculine role of men. You know what I'm saying? And it's turning us into simps, turning us into feminine men and stuff like that.
Turning women masculine.
It's flipping the whole script around and stuff like that. So it's crazy, because it's like, when you look at this stuff, this is all based off how women feel. If women didn't exist, they wouldn't be doing this stuff, to be honest with you.
I agree.
They wouldn't care less about if a man felt like he was a woman and stuff like that. But they're only doing it because, okay, a group of women feel this way, so let's change it so they can do that. So if the guys do feel that way, so we might as well throw them in the bunch
Right,
too. So they only doing it
right.
because of how women feel. That's
true.
all it really is. But that's
true.
what I'm saying. If the world was built off women, this world wouldn't progress in the way that it's supposed to be. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when you, how can I put this? This is part of the reason why the world is the way it is now, because of how women feel, and you got all these different communities that's going on. Everybody finding stuff offensive and stuff like that. It's because a lot of people don't, like, when you try to speak to these people, right, about like whatever community that they in, I ain't gonna say, but when you try to discuss the truth with them about certain stuff, ain't it crazy how they find it overly offensive, and like you give them the truth but they don't want to accept the truth at all? Ain't that exactly how women talk all the time?
Yeah, that's true.
There's no
Yeah,
difference.
exactly. And Camilla just said, "Can we say some women, not all women?" Once,
I read the one I read.
right. Yeah, and once again, we not saying all, but once again, it's I don't know. It's crazy that you have to keep saying this over and over. If 90% of people are dying from cancer and 10% is not, you're gonna focus on the 90 because the 90 outrules the 10. 90% is far greater than 10. So, of course, 90 is not all, but it's such a sizable amount that you focus on that one because that's the majority of what's doing the killing. So you don't have to say all. It's the majority. 90 is more than 10. So by you focusing on the majority in the human mind, you're gonna think that that's all. But no, it's not that it's all. It's just letting you know it's the majority of. And if the majority is killing and the 10% is not getting killed, you need to stop the 90 to bring the 90 number down to like 40. If you focus on 10, you're not messing with the 90, which is the real problem. So, and once again, when she says, say some women, not all, Camilla, we just have to be honest. You can't say some women, because guess what? If there was some women, this wouldn't be a topic, because some is not enough to affect change.
That's true.
The fact that it's majority, that lets you know it's greater than some, because it's majority mean it's big enough to the point where it has to be pervasive and talked about, because it's that much of a problem. Because if there's some, it wouldn't even be a topic, because the number will be so trivial. It's like, okay, but we can sweep that under because it's 90% good. So that little 10%, we ain't tripping over that, because the 90 outweighs the good. If the 90 is the bad and the bad outweighs the good, you have to focus on the bad. So it's not some women, it's majority women. And remember, majority don't mean all. Majority just mean more often than not. And that more often than not is big enough to cause a problem.
And if you know you're not like that, then you shouldn't have an issue with it.
Yeah, once again, and remember, this is y'all old